What is up, good people? You're watching Brad's Entertainment. I have brought you a lovely new TikTok creator, the lovely Lola East King. Lola, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
that.
very well spoken, aren't you? Listen to
Yeah, I
you.
am indeed. Yeah, yeah. Not your average.
Not your average, spicy girl.
Shh. Sit
I'm
down.
sorry about that. Sorry, I shouldn't talk about that. Let's talk about you, Lola King. Where'd you get the name from anyway? Lola East King.
Okay, so the name is my dog is called Lola. And the street I was born in was East Street, and the street I live in now is King Street.
Oh.
It was simple as that. Basically, I had to think of a name when I cammed, and Lola was a name I'd respond to.
Hmm.
And then I was trying to set up all my socials, and Lola was obviously taken, so I had to come up with some kind of surname, and that was the best I could think of at the time.
All right. You mentioned Cam, so you started straight with the fire. What
Uh-huh.
made what made you want to sort of get into this industry?
Okay, so actually, I've always wanted to be within this industry in one way or another. When I was younger, I wanted to do the phone calls, which obviously aren't around really anymore. I mean, they are, but they're not as popular because
Yeah.
you've got video. Um, and I didn't know how to get into it. And when I was 18, I didn't have the money to ring up one of those lines and find out how you get onto them.
Hmm.
So I obviously just left that. And then last year, I saw an ad on TikTok for an agency, and I understood straight away what they were talking about. That it was Cam. They don't say it, and they make it sound very much excuse me, not what it actually is. But I knew what it was straight away, and I was like, yes, that's my way in. So I joined an agency, and they set up my profile on one of the adult websites. And I went from there basically. I stayed with them a couple of months, but realized I didn't actually need them. I just needed a way in. And now
Yeah.
I knew how to get in. I set up on another website as well. I left the agency and carried on that website, so I could make more money, obviously, without them. And yeah, I've done it since April last year,
April last year, so we're nearly a year in.
nearly a year in. Yeah,
What have you
it's
what
going
have you
really well.
what have you learnt?
I have learned men, their imaginations are wild, absolutely wild. Honestly, you can ask a man what should we have for dinner. Well, I don't know what we should have for dinner. Got no idea, I can't think. But if you ask him anything to do with sex, he can write you a novel. I'm telling you, the things that they come out with at first was just blew my mind. Nothing ever upsets me. Well, one thing upsets me, which is underage things, but
Yeah.
nothing ever upsets me other than that. Um, and I pretty much happily participate in most things. There's four things that I don't ever do. Um, but everything else, I'm just never shocked anymore. The things that they come out with, I don't know if I can tell you what they are, but
Let's go for the most strangest thing you've heard.
um, people who like to be made to eat their own shit.
Wow. Yep.
I've got a couple
Wow.
of those. But it goes from that kind of extreme to obviously just normal mutual play. To I've got a guy that I absolutely love to bits, and he likes sneezing.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's guys that are into wellies. You walking around in wellies in your underwear. There's a guy that likes you to hoover up. A guy that likes you in a vintage puffer jacket.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Um, there are some things that I find difficult, maybe, and that's more things like the used condom play, where you get them to drink it at the end.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That
So
can
are
be a
you are
messy
you
one.
are you doing meetups then where you like based oh
No, so
it's
I
all
don't
yeah.
do, yeah, I don't escort at all. I am actually married, and that's not an agreement we have, which is fine. But I feel like the amount that ask me, I'm like, I would make a fortune. So it's tempting, but no,
Yeah.
it's all over cam. Yeah,
And you mentioned you've got a husband.
I do indeed.
Wow. I mean, did you talk to him about this industry? Did you like mention to him, okay, I'm thinking I really want to get into this?
Okay, so when I started doing cam, I didn't say anything. I joined this
Naughty, naughty.
agency, but hang on, I joined the agency, and I wasn't sure. I only told one friend, and I said, "I'm either getting people trafficked because the amount of information you have to give them, and ID and things, or I'm joining an agency to cam."
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mention it to my husband until I knew it was a thing because he'd be like, "Oh, it's a scam." So I
Yeah.
waited, and it wasn't a scam. It was an agency. They are on TikTok. They can be
Hmm.
found. And agencies are a great way if you don't know how to get into it or if you need a bit of help. And it's very helpful for a lot of people. I don't feel like they're scams. And yes, they do take a percentage, but they are doing some work for you, even if it's just setting up your profile and giving you a bit of a nudge. But you don't always need them. So you might just need them for that and then you can leave. So I joined. Once I knew I joined, I then said to him, "Look, this is what I've done. How do you feel about it? I haven't started yet. I've not done one broadcast. So if you want me to stop it, I can do that right now." And he was like, "If that's what you want to do, fine." So I did.
I mean, most people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, were you not happy or what? I mean, if people hear this, the first thing they're going to say normally is like, is this relationship serious?
Yeah,
Is it more of a friendship relationship, which is very common?
yeah.
Because most people in normal marriages, their partner goes off and sets up a camming thing. They might be a little bit upset, but then the sort of how it escalates into what it's moved into, most people are gonna be like, is this really a relationship
Okay,
or is this
so
a friendship?
we are both very comfortable with each other. We're definitely friends, but we're definitely more than that as well. I love him to pieces. He loves me to pieces, and he'd never stop me doing anything that I wanted to do. But he also knows that I'm very headstrong, and I'm like, well, I'm doing it, and I can make this much money doing it. And once we saw how much money I was making doing it, especially after leaving the agency, because with the agency fees and the website fees, I was losing 50%.
Yeah.
So once I left and I was only losing 30%, obviously that's a bit more to my pot. And I've never earned that much money in any other job I was working 50 hours a week before as an electrician. And now I'm doing 3 hours a day, earning probably double, if not
Wow.
more. So, and
Wow.
I'm at home, we don't have children, so that's not an issue. So, I think that would be the other thing for a lot of people if they've got children in a family. They don't necessarily want their children to discover what they're doing or to get out with other people, whereas all my friends know what I do. It's not a secret because I think as soon as it's a secret, it's a big problem. But yeah, my husband's just like, I know you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So yeah. But yeah, no, he trusts me, he loves me, but we are definitely friends as well.
Hmm.
We've been together 18 years, so
Yeah, I was gonna say this does seem like if I'm trying to picture a relationship like this, does seem like best friends, long-term relationship, maybe
yeah,
first or second love, and And
definitely.
the thing about some people will also say when there's no children involved in relationships that go on for like 18 years, 17 years, 20 years, whatever it is,
Yeah,
it becomes a different sort of relationship because they do it's a bad way to say it because in other words I'm saying sometimes kids force you to be more force you to be more of a family
yeah,
and forces maybe you to maybe stay with your partner as well because
yeah,
it's if there's no kids there then it could be very easily sort of like okay, let's just leave sort of thing, not as it could be
exactly.
perceived as not as serious when there's no kids in a relationship.
Yeah, totally agree. I never wanted children. I've never tried, so I don't know if that, if there's a possibility of them, but I definitely didn't want children. He didn't. Um, so it was a perfect relationship. My parents are divorced. Um, most of my family members are divorced, and I'm like, you're stuck with that other person because of your child. Like my mum and dad have to talk to each other because they've got children, or they did, not anymore because obviously we're grown up, all of us. But and I feel like it's just the biggest pressure on a relationship. And I was like, I don't want children because if I don't want to be with you anymore, I would like that to be like cut and dry, done, go. Don't want to speak to you ever again. You know. So that was another reason because I'm a child of divorce. I'm an
Yeah.
orphan. That I was like, yeah, I don't want children. But
Yeah.
it's meant for a longer relationship. It does mean that there isn't that pressure of go, if I wanted to leave, if we wanted to separate, we could, and it's easily done. But we obviously don't want to. We've been together a long time. We work really well together. We have like an amazing life together, fabulous holidays. The only pressure we have is a dog. So
Hmm.
I feel like that makes it
What does
better.
your normal day to day look like with in terms of your relationship with your husband? Obviously, you do your camming, you do
Yeah.
your hours of camming, and then what's after that?
So he goes off to work in the morning. He runs a business. Um, and I jump online pretty much as soon as I'm up because I'm up early. So I'd rather get it, get on, get it out the way, and I've got the rest of the day to myself. The rest of my day usually consists of trying to get a TikTok live in, and then doing straight on the laptop to upload to many vids, plan on OnlyFans, uploading on Instagram, Twitter. I've just started Loyal Fans. I've opened another fan page as well because they're really good, easy revenue. Something like ManyVids is an easy place for more income
Yeah,
when you don't have to like OnlyFans. It doesn't take any time other than
yeah,
planning where putting your videos on. Whereas OnlyFans, you might have to chat to your fans, make them content. It take OnlyFans takes a lot more time,
yeah.
whereas I can just sit and upload all to these other sites and Pornhub and things like that. So that's what I spend my day doing. But I mean, I'm new to this. I only started my OnlyFans properly in December. So it is a 24/7 type of thing.
And for people that may be thinking about hearing all the stories, all the success stories of people like becoming millionaires overnight and stuff on OnlyFans, what they do, it is a hell of a lot of work.
A
Like, it's
lot
it's
of
not
work.
even work, it's a business. You're
Yeah,
running your
exactly.
own business and you
Yeah,
are the brand, and your job is to be the marketer, the
yeah,
salesperson,
yeah. Figure it
promotion.
all
You
out.
literally everything you could think of goes involved in that, and it's something that you like any business, that when you start from fresh, there's no guarantees. There's no
No,
guarantees, and you have to be brave enough to just sort of say, right, I'm going for it.
yeah. And I think the other thing that people don't realize is Um, it takes a lot of time, and you think, well, oh God, I'm doing rubbish. But you don't know. No one knows where everyone else is, how everyone else is doing with it for a start. You don't know if having 10 fans when you've been doing it, I don't know, 2 months is good, or if it's really bad, or if actually that is good. And you can't expect to just get people, you're unknown. You can't expect to suddenly have people. And I think that's the problem because you don't know where you should be and you feel like everyone has thousands and thousands of fans. And you feel like that even within the community. You're like, oh God, they must have a lot of fans. Oh, they've been doing it well. Oh my God, I must be doing really rubbish. Or do you know what I mean? And you have that panic the whole time that you're not doing good enough. But because you don't know, there's no bar, there's no easy level
Yeah,
to look at.
I think it's all perception, isn't it? People
Mm-hmm.
just assume let's talk about something else. The bad days when you're not feeling it, you're not feeling sexy, you're not feeling like going on the camera,
Yeah.
and let's go back to the days when you first started. I'm assuming you didn't blow up straight away. You didn't make started making money straight away, but let's talk about that sort of the initial startup, maybe a bit of doubt here and there, and then the bad days when you're not feeling sexy to do all the
So
bits.
on cam, I rarely have bad days. If I'm having a bad day, as in, um, usually around my period, hormones are low and you're like, oh my God, you look disgusting. I tend to have a day off of cam because there's no point going on. Men get that feeling for it.
Yeah,
They know if you're low energy instantly. And even if there are people that come with you often and they come into your preview, they're like, chat a bit and they'll probably just disappear. And that doesn't make you feel any better. So
yeah,
it's best just to come off there. Cam, I made good money very quickly and I was surprised that not everyone does. Again, not everyone does. You're not going to suit everyone and you might be in a smaller selection of types for people.
yeah.
Um, but with OnlyFans, I think that was definitely monthly. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't. I mean, it's only been a few months, obviously, but I'm like, is it worth it? The days that I'm losing to go and do other stuff for OnlyFans, I could be on cam. I might be missing a day on cam, so I might have lost 300 quid that day to
Yeah.
go and do a shoot or to go and get some nice pictures or whatever. So I'm like, why am I wasting that kind of time on this when I'm rubbish at it. I can't do it. No one wants to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
that
always gonna
that is
you're
difficult.
always gonna second guess yourself, and you're always gonna doubt yourself, and you
Exactly.
know it's I suppose the good thing about social media in this day and age, and I've spoken about it quite recently as well, is that like anyone can start OnlyFans,
Yeah,
and people have types. So
yeah,
there's such a broad audience now
yeah.
where you could be anything and there is an
Oh,
audience for it. Anything.
definitely.
You don't have you can have a bit of a podge belly, you can have a bit of whatever it is. There are thousands of men on a daily basis that are going to come and tell you how sexy you look.
Yeah.
And this is what's obviously G's you up as well, obviously when you're having a bad day and you've got someone saying, "Oh God, you're so sexy," and you're like, "Oh really?"
I love your body, and you're like, oh God, but I hate my belly, and I don't like my nose, and my voice is horrible. And they're like, oh my God, I love your voice. I'm like, are you okay, hon?
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
does make you feel so much better. It really
hmm
does.
hmm
Um,
So, so what makes some? I mean, I say this. I've had a lady that started this industry at 75. No,
right.
70 actually. A lady that started it at 70. So
Nice.
at 40, you've always wanted to do it. You've mentioned that you've something you've always wanted to do, but
Yeah.
you know the shoots with other characters. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And being married as well.
Yeah.
How does one even talk? How does one even start that conversation?
After camming, I felt like OnlyFans was probably like a natural progression. Um, I set that idea out there. I should do OnlyFans to my husband, and he was like, "Okay." I said, "But really, to I feel to make a decent amount of money, I don't have a niche. I'm not a BBW who can, I don't know, strut her stuff and shake her bum and look amazing and make loads of money like that." So I said, "I think I'll need to do it with someone else." And I know it's not his thing at all. He doesn't want to be in the limelight one bit. Even not showing his face, he wouldn't be up for that. So I said, I think it'll be, I need to do it with other people, really. I was like, don't give me an answer. I don't need an answer right now. You have a think about it. Go away and think about it. It's something that I really would like to do, and it is just business. And to me, I'm very business minded. So, as much as these people are going to be lovely, hopefully, that I meet and whatever else, I'm not interested in anything else. I'm a grown up and I've got a very good business head. So, that's it. And I'm sure there was a bit of worry because I think if you're not someone who's into the kind of swinging community or cuckolding, that kind of thing, you're probably not going to be able to get your head around it very easily. But a few days later, he came back and said, I've thought about it, and if it's something you really want to do, go for it. Um, and I mean, I was nervous about his reply. And then when I got my first shoot, so starting out is hard as well because the amount of people that cancel on you is ridiculous. That say that they want to shoot with you, or it's usually new male creators, younger
Yep.
ones.
Yep.
And
I've done warning videos about that for loads of OnlyFan girls that start up. You're gonna
don't
get
blame me.
guys that come in and say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, let's make content." You're like, "Okay, that's fabulous." And most people realize that they only want to just quick shag sort of thing. It's the new line. It's the new
Yeah,
one liner. It's a new game
yeah,
basically where you can shag OnlyFans girls or vulnerable women that are
yeah,
starting up that don't know any better. Because I just want to little jump on that a little bit
yeah.
because one of the main things, one of the videos I've done as well is what you should be doing when you start OnlyFans and what's expected of you and how to grow your page.
Hmm.
And you mentioned there that you felt that you had to do content with men
Hmm.
to to grow your
All women,
OnlyFans.
all women.
All
I
women, all women.
should probably say that. Yeah,
And
someone else.
I'm of the opposite opinion because I have like been an OnlyFans manager. I've worked with women. I've worked with MILFs. I've worked with young girls.
Yeah.
For me, it's about building your profile up on social media. And
Hmm.
then a byproduct of that is men will naturally, especially if you don't even have to overly advertise, men will naturally gravitate and come over, check the links, and they'll
Yeah.
come over to your OnlyFans page. And you'll never be able to please the fans. The fans are always going to want more. Like, I know MILFs, very, very successful MILFs that I've
Hmm.
worked with that do solo videos and they've done solo videos for years just by themselves. And they've made great money. And the fans are always asking for more stuff, more men,
Yeah.
more this, more that, this, that, that. There'll always be something that the fans want. But
Of course.
ultimately, the more you give them, it's kind of like once you've seen a woman, like you see it like Rebecca Goodwin, for instance, like,
Yeah.
where she stepped her game up now is she does the big collaborations now. So she does like a
Yeah.
big feature movie. So the fans ain't fed up of just because as a guy, we get bored of. the same old
Yeah.
stuff. So she's got a great model, which I've actually sort of kidnapped a little bit and put into
Okay.
my own sort of venture a little bit. I'll talk to you about that at some point. But
Very nice.
yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm not at the opinion, and especially don't recommend women that when they start OnlyFans up to jump straight into collaborations because for me personally, it's just something that you don't need to do straight away. It's
I
something you need to
think
build up first.
I think it's kind of right what you're saying, but obviously everyone's different, and
Yeah,
what
of
will work
course.
for one won't necessarily work for
Yeah,
another. And from doing cam and stuff, I'd already in my mind, obviously not quite the same, but I've done my solo. I'm doing my solo stuff all morning. For a couple of hours. Um, and what I wanted is for like those in particular could be potential fans on OnlyFans. So they've seen it, and what they want now is they want to see me with someone else. Um, and that would be the quickest way for me. It's difficult to say it on cam because you're not allowed to discuss social
yeah,
platforms
yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
They're very tricky.
Yeah, so I have been banned twice for it, but managed to get my account back twice, luckily, because they couldn't actually give me proof of it.
Yeah,
So I fought it for 4 days the first time. So yes, so I felt like that's what they want to see. That's the next progression for them is they're desperate to see me. And yes, I could just make some videos and put them on those sites, and I do put some of my videos and some clips mostly onto the cam sites. Um, but I felt for me, what's going to work best is performing with other people. And also, I don't feel like I'm imaginative enough to do solo stuff. I think I would have done 2 videos and then be like, well, that's all I can do then. End of. So
well, this is
so
where
yeah.
my management head comes in, and I become very creative with girls, and help them out with their solo ideas and help them with
Yeah,
their chats and stuff like that, so they can focus mainly on content. I think that's what a good management team should be doing for girls in the industries and stuff.
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, horses for courses. I mean, one of the biggest things that I do talk about as well is that obviously girls when they do collaborations, like you mentioned, Pascal, for instance, terrible reputation, by the way. Terrible reputation.
I can tell you, I've done 2 shoots with him. He is an absolute darling. Um, there was a bit of an issue on the first one, but just because that was supposed to be a collaboration, not a paid shoot, and it turned into a paid shoot, um, there was an issue with him in Belgium. So I've filmed in Belgium already. At this
Yeah.
point, I'm already international.
Yeah.
And my second shoot was in Spain with him. And again, it went absolutely smoothly. Everything he said he'd do, he did. He's an absolute sweetheart. Picked me up from the airport. He picked me up from the airport. He drove me back to the airport. I was paid that first shoot when I was told I'd be paid. The second shoot, I got exactly what I wanted. I got extra, in fact, because I think I made him feel a bit bad about the first shoot. And I get on very well with him, in all fairness. I know he's got a bit of a background, shall we say, and a bit of a party lifestyle background. But now I think he's getting on a bit, and I think he's slowed down a lot. But I can't say a nicer guy. I've been very lucky so far with everyone I've dealt with. I haven't come across I haven't ended up with any knobheads, any boys that just want to get laid. Everyone, it's been professional people that are already well known in the industry anyway.
Yeah.
So I have been lucky in that respect.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. And the collaboration side of it with male creators, like with Brazzers, when they pay you to feature in a movie and stuff like that. A lot of people, like a lot of old timers, are very upset by it because obviously they do one shoot, they get paid one payment, and then the content is owned by Brazzers or Hub
Correct.
for forever, for
Yeah.
in perpetuity. So literally, the content will be up there forever. That's why
For
there's a
the
lot of
rest of eternity.
yeah, that's why there's a lot of upset people, and especially women with children and stuff like that. I always say to them, really think about the male collaborations
Yeah.
because it's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You've been paid £600 or even £6,000, whatever it is. It might seem like great money to you, but when you at least the thing about like about OnlyFans is if you decide you want to call it a day on OnlyFans, you can shut your account. Yes, people may be able to duplicate copy content, but you can all you're protected. If anyone
Yeah.
does do that, they can be sued and you can
Yeah.
get cease and assist and all the rest of it. But
Yeah.
when you do collaborations with men like and with the companies on the hub,
Yeah.
it's there forever. And
Correct.
that's something that a lot of people are really, really up struggling with. It sounds
Which,
great when you're young and dumb and
yeah,
drinking and everything,
that's
but
it.
when it's up there in 20 years, when you're 50, when you're 60, and you look at it and you
Yeah.
think, "Fuck, that's still there," like you know, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
if they've left the industry and decided that now they want to be, I don't know, they want to work in the
plain
normal
Jane,
vanilla day.
plain
Yeah,
Jane.
that's it. But I think that's the difference. I mean, I would have wanted to do it when I'm 18 anyway. I'm someone who's very open and honest and talks about stuff anyway, so I don't have an issue with it, and I never would have. But I think that's the difference with some of these 21-year-olds coming, going, yeah, I want to do this. They do a shoot with a company, like we're saying. They get paid, let's say, 300 or 400 quid for it. They're loving that. They're out there. They're on the internet. You know, they're a porn star now. Um, and then 6 months later, even not even that long, some of them are like, "Oh God, what did I do?" And a year later, sometimes it's not very long at all, and they really regret it. And that's why I feel like also coming into the industry older, you know, in my 40s, um, not having children, don't have to worry about that. My family know about it, so that's not a big thing. My friends all know about it again, so it's not. If
Any
you can be
backlash?
open, it's
Any
fine.
backlash from this industry? Have you lost any friends?
I don't think so. I'm not. This is
Do
going
you
to
know what
sound
it is? It's
awful.
so bad that it's so bad. Women are the worst, the worst. They'll be like,
Definitely.
"Good on you, girl. Have you seen what she's doing online? That woman has no shame.
Yeah.
Literally, that is what women are like.
Well,
Honestly, like that."
I have had one female friend who made a few comments and was like, "Oh, I told you not to go on Pornhub. I told you not to." I'm like, what you want me to do and what I am doing are two different things. Like, I decide what I do and I make my decisions. And then I just distance myself from people like that because I don't want that negativity around. There was one guy that kept going, "But what if you fail?" And I'm like, I don't need you around. I don't want to speak to you about this. I don't want to have anything to do about it because if I go around with a mindset, what if I fail? I'm probably going to fail
Yeah,
because I'm worrying about this or I think I haven't done that or this isn't right. But if I'm going around going, I'm going to be as successful as I can, which is as I can, you know, that sets the bar. I don't have a bar set. I don't need to be Rebecca Goodman. I'd bloody love to be, but I don't need to be her. I am going to work as hard as I can and get as far as I can doing something I really enjoy. And I'm making more money than these people, a lot more money than these people that are questioning it. And I think, is it partly that because they wouldn't do this?
it's a
They
thousand.
wouldn't.
It's 1,000%. It's 1,000%. I speak to women all the time, and like I've made loads of videos on this. Like women that don't necessarily have the guts to do it because they've got kids or they're just
Well,
generally
they're
worried about
prudish.
doing it. Like
Yeah,
they're just worried about it. But
yeah,
in their mind, this is why people are so angry. They're really bitter because they know if they did do it, they'd be pretty good at it. Like some girls, like
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
I've seen some girls that are absolutely stunning, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of OnlyFans, but they are absolutely stunning, decent
yeah,
following. They would actually clean up, and they know it, so they become very bitter. But most of
yeah,
them end up doing it on the side anyway. Like there's a lot. I noticed there's a
yeah,
lot of that. There's a lot of women on social media that are doing it on the side first, not
yeah. I
using the
bet.
platforms, but just sending stuff direct to the clients, and I'm
Which
pretty
is more
sure you.
dodgy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
My,
I've done things like that
yeah,
in the
yeah,
past.
yeah.
You know.
I know the tricks and the tricks of the trade. I love that. I love that. All right, just a couple of generic questions. Lola,
Okay.
how big is too big?
Uh,
So I turn up to the set. I turn up to the set. We arrange to meet up. We arrange to do a collaboration. I turn up to the set. I pull out 10 inches, girthy as hell. What are you thinking?
I'm all about the girth.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there. I'm all about the girth. That's definitely better to me than a huge, huge schlong.
No schlongs.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not, it just so happens. You can tell I'm a cam girl.
Tell me the perfect size for you. Tell me the perfect size for you.
I think. I mean, 7.5, 7. Seven's got to be enough. That's 7 inches. Like
Seven.
that's my that's how big my head is. I think that's big enough.
Wow. There's gonna be men. There's gonna be men that hear that and they're gonna be like, 7 inches. They're gonna be sitting there like that. Of course, over here on the dark side, we're all pretty blessed. +7, so we're all right,
Yeah, I know
But
that's scary. Yeah, but I mean, 7.5 inches is big, or 7 inches is big. I mean, I don't know. I've got a lot of guys who like SPH, so if there's anyone around who wants some SPH, who bring me the 1 inch. Oh,
Okay, okay, small bits. Is that
small
what's the smallest? What's the
humiliation.
smallest item of tooling have you seen before?
I have a guy who comes to me for SPH, small penis humiliation, and he is 1 inch.
Wow.
And I literally, I get this, and I'm like, that is it. That is all you are. I'm like, not even as big as my little finger. Like, well, that is such a joke. But that's what he enjoys. So I don't do that to everyone. Only
Wow.
when they ask for it.
Wow. Okay. Your best chat up line that you've heard. Best chat up line.
Probably going to be a real. No, do people even use chat up lines anymore? I
I don't think so. I think they just swipe.
don't. I'm not of that era either. Usually just silly that someone says, probably more than a normal kind of, I don't know, did you fall from the stars or whatever? More than one of those. It's probably when they say something
Is
really
is heaven
stupid.
missing is heaven missing a star because you must have fallen all that sort of crap. I get
Yeah,
you.
but less of those, and probably more the ones that are just like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. That's hilarious. Those kind of ones. But yeah, I don't hear chat up lines to be honest. No one chats me up.
Okay. All right. This is a popular one with the fellas. It's a 10-second bouncing. It's a 10-second bouncing challenge. I believe you. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean by that. How many bounces up and down can you do in 10 seconds?
Right,
And I
hang
will
on.
set the timer for you. Get
I'm
yourself
just
comfortable.
I'm just gonna have to move this, so I don't want to knock you off whilst
Uh,
I'm.
You can do it sitting down. It's fine. You can do it sitting down. You can just
It's just
bounce like
my
that.
feet were touching the table it's on, and I feel like it's gonna knock the camera off if I do. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. In three, two, one, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think you managed about 12 there. That's a record at the moment.
I counted 17, if I'm honest.
17. Okay, all right. I'll
Counted
double check. I'll
17.
double check and
I
see.
think you should do a replay.
A replay.
Set a slow mo replay of
Okay,
that.
favorite sexual position.
Cowgirl.
I think. Do you know what? If you ask most women plus 30, most women are gonna say cowgirl because they've realized that you can't rely on men, so to speak, now, and it's just lay down, mother,fucker, and let me hit that
That's
spot
it.
myself.
That's it. You stay there. Let me grind away and squats. And it's going to sort me right out.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Um, has anything really turned you on? Any sort of custom, like something that maybe you weren't experienced with, or like even aware of, that someone maybe asked you to do, and you thought, "Fuck me, that really gets me going."
Do you know what? I'm one of those. I don't want to say sad people, but I'm one of those people. I'm quite submissive in the bedroom. So if someone else is turned on, I'm turned on. So yes, I've come across loads of things where I'm like, I mean, not necessarily with some of them, the bodily ones,
Yeah,
but somewhere I'm like some of the taboo stuff, like the stepmommy stuff. I've been really into that, which I wouldn't have thought I would be. The breeding stuff, I've enjoyed that a lot. So that's usually some gorgeous big black man that wants to do that. I've got one on one of my sites, and I love him to pieces. He's American. He's got the sexiest voice in the world, really deep. He's obviously older, and he's from somewhere like Chicago, I think it is. So he's got a really amazing accent, this deep voice, and he just sounds so lovely. And when he talks about it, I'm like, yes, yes, you can do that to me.
wow. Lola King, it has been emotional having you on, our first of many interviews. I'm pretty sure we'll do some more in the future and maybe some in persons as well. I've got some of them coming up as well. So,
Yeah, love to.
anything you want to say before we go, Lola?
I don't think so. Be nice. Be nice to sex workers and just in general. That's kind of it, really.
That's so true, guys. And I'll add a little bit to that.
Mm-hmm.
Every single guy has had a relationship with porn in his life and probably still does.
Yeah,
at some point, whether it's not, whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever it is, and to bully girls that are in the industry, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to do it because it's something that you rely on. You have that desire, and some of you are stuck in them desires. Some of you are in, crazy world, So, and especially the ones that have got kids as well, give them a break, give them a
yeah,
break because they're doing it to give their kids a better life. Give them a
yeah.
break. Lola
That's it,
King, thank you
exactly.
very much for joining.